Hey guys, Ranger here, and welcome back to another video. This is not a video that I wanted to do. This is not a video that I anticipated having to do. And I'm sorry for doing a video like this so early in the year, but I needed to do this video and let you guys know. Um, it's really looking like I'm not going to be going to any other MLP conventions or really any conventions at all either, ever again. Um, And so I'm making this video to let you guys know, do not expect me at any conventions, MLP conventions or otherwise, um, because of my mother. And this is a really ridiculous video that I'm having to make, but I'm doing this video because I want you guys to know the truth of the situation. And I did a video like this last year, but also there's kind of a bit of an update kind of to that. Like I said, the chances of me going to any other conventions are like 99.9% not happening, because I was actually wanting to try to go to another MLP convention this year, but whenever I made a mention about it to my mother, she made the remark that if I went to this convention, for me not to be asking or even thinking about going to any other conventions. And I asked, why not? And she started saying a few different things. I'll be honest, some of it I tuned out, but some of the things that I did, that she did say, um, she made she made the remark that, like, if there's a convention in Las Vegas, forget it. Don't even, like, forget going to that. Don't even think about it. And I immediately thought, okay, there are no conventions, MLP conventions in Las Vegas, but you know, I've always wanted to get to go to Comic-Con in San Diego. Her saying that immediately knocked me out of that. And she started making the mention that going to conventions like that kind of can become like an addiction. And my first thought was, right, something that you maybe partake in once a year. Okay. And she made the remark that, well, I asked her, I said, what about car shows? And she said that if I was wanting to go to car shows, like down in Pigeon Forge, there's a big car show that they have in Pigeon Forge. And she said if I was wanting to go to something like that, a car show like that, that she would say the same thing, that going to something like that can become an addiction. And that she doesn't like the idea of me traveling, like, out of state. Like, she doesn't like the idea of me traveling anywhere, like, outside of like 100 miles from home, and or 50 miles from home. And just like last year, whenever I mentioned wanting to go to that convention last year, her response was, you'll get killed. She's afraid that I could travel away from home and something could happen to me. The fact is, though, I have just as much of a chance, if not higher, of something happening to me here, you know? Like, every time that I go to work, I take a chance on getting hit, on being in an accident that could kill me. Now we have the coronavirus going around, and there's a chance, you know, I work in retail, there's a very good chance that I could contract it from that and croak. But she also made the remark that she did say that a convention like in Virginia, Kentucky, West Virginia, or Tennessee, close by, she's fine with me going to, but like, she doesn't like the idea of basically me going to places farther away. And she also made the remark that, again, that she would like to get to go to the Holy Land in Israel, but she's content with just sitting and watching it on TV. And that's where my mom and I differ. You know, my mom is more content. She's a homebody. She's more content with just staying home. I like the idea of traveling. And it makes me think about those characters in Animal Crossing. You know, they would tell you that they have the wanderlust. And I mean, this is home. I'm not planning on moving, but I don't want to just stay here my whole life either. I'd like to be able to do, do a little bit of traveling, maybe go somewhere once a year. And she made the remark, she told me that, like, if I could find that I needed to go with somebody. And I made a remark that, there might be other people going to the convention as well. And, last year I was able to find somebody that was willing to meet up with me and let me go to the convention with them last year. However, Mom said this time that's not going to happen again. And she said that she made the remark something about maybe I could find somebody here that would go with me. And I said, nobody. Like, there's nobody around me that would be interested in going. And she said, well, that's because you have an interest in something that nobody else wants to do. And she kind of it made me feel like she was saying that's a bad thing. I live in Crap Hole, Virginia. I live in an area where the only thing that people have an interest in is either football, hunting, fishing, or ATV and UTV riding. That's it. That is it. If I wanted to go hunting or fishing, or go to a football game, or go UTV or ATV riding, there's plenty of people that I would find that would be totally willing to do that, but that's not my thing. And it's times like this that really make me realize that I'm the only one. I'm the only one here that has an interest in MLP. I'm the only one here that would be interested in going to a convention like that. And it sucks. It sucks being the only one. And my mother doesn't like the idea of me trying to travel by myself. And I understand that. I mean, it is better if you travel with somebody, but she is stuck on the concept of me going with somebody that she knows that she's comfortable with. And the thing is, there's nobody that I know whatsoever that would be willing to go to any convention like that, or that has an interest in MLP whatsoever. There's nobody. And besides that, even if one of them was, I'm pretty sure if my mom knew them, she would not be comfortable with the idea of traveling. My mom probably thinks that I'm going to find some good Christian person that I'm going to be able to go with. Like that's ever going to happen. And so, and other people I know would suggest, hey, why don't I just go anyway? The thing is, people just don't know my mom. My mom, this is not the scenario. This isn't like a movie or a TV show where my mother is suddenly going to realize that she needs to let me travel and, enjoy life. And then she suddenly becomes open to that idea and happy that proud that I'm doing something like that. No, this isn't this isn't that kind of story. No, this isn't that. No, my mom I've been in that situation before where my mom has got upset at me and she has given me the cold shoulder. I remember an incident several years ago, probably, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. I don't remember how it came up, but I remember making a remark to my mother that I had an interest in storytelling, in writing, and that I would like to pursue a career in writing. Maybe writing, coming up with stories, like movies or TV shows or something for Disney or Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or Hasbro or something, one of those big studios. And the response that I got from her wasn't, she wasn't happy or proud. Instead, her response was, "You would be willing to leave home for that?" And I said, "Yeah." Like, I wouldn't be moving. I'd be, I mean, for good, I'd be going and staying for some months and then, coming back to visit as often as I could. But the moment that she found out that I was willing to do that, I remember um, she just got silent. She started giving me the silent treatment, and I remember she went straight, turned the computer on, and I asked her what she was doing, and she said that if she was going to look up an adoption agency. If I was going to leave, then she was going to adopt another child. And I remember she made the remark, she said, if Disney, she didn't say Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or Hasbro, but she said, if Disney is taking you away, then I'm done with it. And I said, but I thought you liked Winnie the Pooh. She said, not anymore. If it's going to take you away, I'm done with it. And it took me like a half hour of telling her that I wasn't moving, that I was staying. It took me a half hour, an hour for me to finally get her to calm down. But I never have forgot that. I never have forgot that. And she, like I said, she doesn't like the idea of me traveling somewhere. She's very protective. I'm an only child, and she's made the remark before that I'm the only other person that she can talk to about things. And realistically, I think she's a little too dependent upon me. I really do think she's a little bit too dependent upon me, on the concept of me staying. And she even made a remark, like she also keeps thinking that I'm going to get married, and that my wife and my kids are going to live here as well, that we're all just going to live here. And I don't like kids. I don't want to have kids. But my mom, like I said, whenever she's just really kind of overprotective. And it's not the situation where I can tell her to, lighten up, loosen up. It's not going to be that way. She wouldn't listen. She started making that remark to me. She started it felt like she was throwing it at me, saying that she and Dad have been as good to me as they could be. And it felt like she was, I don't know, I know some people it would be easy enough to say that it felt like she was trying to guilt trip me into feeling like I should just appreciate what I have and not try to want more. That I shouldn't be wanting to travel, that I should be just content. And she also made the remark that she wants me to enjoy life, that she wants me to be able to enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the flowers. And I'm thinking, going to conventions is how I would enjoy life. But she wants me, I get the feeling a lot that she just wants me to be more kind of grounded in one area and just be able to go outside and just sit on my porch and just look at the flowers and enjoy the sunshine for a few hours and just be fine with that. But, I do love flowers in the sun, but I'm just not like my mother. I'm not like her. She and I are different on some things, but she wants me to be and have the attitude about things that she does. And she's also made that remark. She's kind of used that, and it's kind of getting to the point where it seems cliche, but she's made the remark that whenever I'm older, I'll see these things. And I, I'm not saying whatsoever that I'm intelligent now, that I know more than my mother does. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but it feels like this scenario where I know what I feel, that I know what I want, but she's trying to tell me that it's that whenever I'm older, I'll see that I didn't really want that. And it just, that's what happened whenever I made a remark to her about wanting to go to this other convention, or wanting to go to another convention in general. She told me, if I went to this one, don't ask to go to any more. Which basically says, hey, I'm not going to get to go. If I went to one, that would mean that would be the only one that I would ever get to go to in my life. And she also said that she wanted me to enjoy life, but she wants me to enjoy it in a different way. Instead of going to conventions or heck, car shows, she wants me to just walk outside and enjoy the flowers and the sunshine, be totally content with that. And she wants me to try to find somebody. But the thing is, I'm the only brony around here. There's no other brony or Pegasister for miles and miles, for like over 100 or 200 miles away from me. And I feel isolated, like I'm the only one here. And so there's nobody that I know that would be willing to go. I asked a guy a few days ago, and he got back to me. He got back to me and told me that MLP isn't his thing, so he had no interest in going. And I can respect that, but it did kind of toss out another option. And so it just, that's basically what happened whenever I asked my mom about going. Like I said last year, whenever my mom also made the remark last year, and I never have forgot that I've never driven on an interstate before. And I'll admit it, no, I never have driven on an interstate, but I've never had before a need to do so. The nearest interstate to me is over an hour away. Otherwise, we just have a basic 4-lane. 2 lanes going one way, 2 lanes going the opposite way, with no median in the center of it, really. Except, well, some of it does have, but some of it doesn't. And that's the only thing that I've ever driven on, because that's just where I live. Everything that you're going to go to is on that 4-lane. And I've never had a need to drive on the interstate, but my mother made the remark last year or the year before that I've never driven on an interstate before. And I made the remark that I can't go my whole life without driving on the interstate. And she said, yeah, you can. Even if somebody, and I could say that if somebody that was already going to a convention was near me, within a couple of hours away, my mom is still not going to be for the idea whatsoever of me going with somebody unless she knows them. But that's not going to happen because nobody, like I said, nobody around me has any interest in MLP, and so I'm completely alone. And and if I go just anyway, I know for a fact my mom's just going to stop talking to me. It's never going to be the situation where my mom is just suddenly going to realize that, I'm old enough to make decisions like that on my own, and she needs to let me have a little bit of freedom. It's not going to be that way. Instead, she's going to suddenly have the mentality that I'm not appreciative. That's what she and Dad gets for trying to be good to me. And she's just going to give me the silent treatment and never, only say, yes or no answers, and otherwise just never talk to me. And I know for a fact that if I go anyway, that's exactly what's going to happen. And so I wanted to make a video letting everybody know, don't expect me at any other conventions. Unless I can find somebody that my mother knows that would be willing to go, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because my mom doesn't like the idea of me traveling out of the state. She doesn't like the idea about it. She believes it's better to travel with a group, and I do understand that, and I do agree with that, but the problem is, I don't know of anybody that's willing to go. I'm the only brony here, and all the other conventions are hours and hours away, and there's nothing here. There's nothing here. And the nearest convention at all near me, like, is in Chattanooga, which is probably a couple of hours from me, at least. And that's the nearest one. And nobody that I know is going to that either. And that's not even an MLP convention. That's just a basic anime thing. And I would love to go, but again, nobody would have any interest. And so I'm alone. And my mom also made the remark, she said, if I made more money, that maybe I could pay somebody to go with me. And I thought, you know, I'm willing right now to rent a vehicle on my own, pay for the gas, and pay for the hotel. What more am I supposed to do with that? And I told her, if I made more money, it wouldn't make a difference. Nobody's going to be willing to go. And she said, yeah, it would make a difference. What am I going to do? Pay them to go with me? And I really don't think that would make a difference. And besides, if I made more money, I would be more concerned about somebody, like, I'd be kind of against the idea of somebody going with me just because I was paying them. And so it just, yeah, that's the gist of what she said whenever I made a remark about me wanting to go to other conventions. So any other MLP conventions is out the window. Going to any anime conventions or any Supernatural or Doctor Who conventions, gone. Furry conventions, or even going to Comic-Con, that's gone. That's never going to happen. And so I guess I'm just stuck. I'm stuck in this crap hole of a town and never going anywhere. Except one time in my life, and that's it. And that's, I guess, the only thing I've got to hang on to hold to. So I wanted to make a video letting you guys know about that. So don't expect me at any other conventions. So I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that I won't have a chance to get to go to any other conventions. I'm sorry that I won't apparently be able to go anywhere. So unless I want to completely ruin the relationship with my mother. So I'm really sorry. I want to make a video letting you guys know. So I'm really sorry that I won't be going to apparently any other conventions.